Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Okaeri nasai. Wonderful to see you here on day 30. Today we're talking about your why. Your why. Have you seen Simon Sinek's TED Talk on why? Find your why. I find this really useful, and you might too. If you're thinking of studying Japanese, finding your why will help you know exactly what you need to study. So hang around and I'll tell you my huge why. Great to see you. O genki desu ka? Nande, doushite? Why are you studying Japanese? I was moving to Japan, countryside. I was excited and I knew no Japanese. Now I take it back. I could count to 10. I didn't know that there were several numbers for 4 and 7. I did not know how to put 11 together. I knew good morning, thank you, and hello, and I was fairly confident I didn't confuse them. That was my level of Japanese 2 months before I moved to Japan. Okay, I had a huge why to study Japanese. I knew people did not speak Japanese in the town. I knew people did not speak English in the town, and there are a few other foreign students. But pretty much that was it. And I was moving there. I was so excited and I was ready for it. I did not know if Japanese was a hard language or an easy language or anything, and I didn't care because I was just going to learn this stuff because I was ready for this experience. So I did a crash course for a month. So I'd say my first 200 plus hours of Japanese was full on every day, learning vocab, learning culture, and learning some sentences that I could rely on. I also learned hiragana in an hour, katakana in an hour. But that wasn't the first thing I learned. I learned how to speak first. And I was really grateful because if I'd have had hiragana, katakana, and maybe a little bit of kanji all together, I would have been totally overwhelmed. We were going at lightning speed, and I just needed to get this stuff learnt. And after maybe a week, which was 40 hours or more than 40 hours, that's when I started hiragana and it made sense, and katakana and it made sense. So it was like light bulbs were happening in my head every day, every hour during that month. It was exciting. It was so much fun. So the first day I was in Japan, I was off the plane in the morning. You get on a bus, you get on a train, you get on a whatever. I was on a Shinkansen. I was traveling into the mountains. I was traveling into the countryside. I was having conversations with the people around me. I was confident of I didn't know a lot, but I knew a sentence structure or 2 or 3 that I knew if I just slotted in the words that I was okay. And I had real conversations, and we were talking about why I was in Japan and what I was doing and where they were going and what was happening on the train and whether there was lunch and whether there was drinks and how much we paid for them and how long this would take. And all of these, it was like I was giggling with excitement having these conversations, and I was overwhelmed with joy and happiness that I'd conquered this to this level. And so if there's one message in this is it's got to be fun, and feeling a little bit out of your depth and over your head is really fun. Find your why. Now, if your why is to be able to watch the animation without reading the字幕, without reading the subtitles, then you will need to know different things that I needed to know. I need to set the scene a bit more, don't I? There were no mobile phones in this day. There was no internet. We were communicating with what we had in our heads. And to tell you the truth, if I had a phone and I was giving it all my attention, it wouldn't have been as great as looking into another person's eyes and working it out and laughing and feeling that joy and exhilaration of finding the words, putting a sentence together and working it out. That's so much fun. But high on my priority list was not 2000 kanji, is what, at that time, on that day. Later in my life, I needed more of those kanji. And be texting in hiragana, kanji, katakana. It's really exciting too. You get to choose how you write things. You can write it all in hiragana. That's perfectly fine. But your phone will give you suggestions of kanji. If you recognize them and you know it's correct, use it. You'll blow people's minds and they'll say, my gosh, your Japanese is awesome. And you'll go, thank you so much. Pat on the back. What's your why? Are you going to live there for a bit of time? Are you going to go skiing there and you just need to be able to read the stations? That's easy. They'll have it in ROMAJI. What do you need to make your trip really fun? I needed to speak to people first. If I knew how to ask the questions, これはどういう意味? What does this mean? それは何ですか? What's that? ちょっとゆっくり言ってください. Japan is awesome. You feel safe. If you make an effort to speak to people, they will adore you. Find your why. Subscribe, click notifications, and leave me a comment below. You are awesome. Let's finish with janken. せーの、じゃんけんぽん。I called show. Rock, sorry about that. Maketa. Scissors, you go. 勝った。じゃあね、またね。